Wow, I never thought I'd be doing a video like this in 2024. Welcome back to Luke's Talks Football. I am, of course, Luke. Be sure to subscribe if you are listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to give me a follow. Lots of content on the way as well. This video is on Wilfried Zaha to Crystal Palace. Yes, it is 2024. It is not 2015. I cannot believe what we are witnessing. Wilfried Zaha has been very reliably linked to Crystal Palace by multiple journalists from the Telegraph and from the South London Press in Edmund Brack. This is ridiculous scenes. Should Crystal Palace sign Zaha? Let's take a look. Wilfried Zaha played 458 times for the Eagles, scoring 90 goals, picking up 62 assists. And wow, what a career he had at Palace. Single-handedly getting us promoted to the Premier League, beating our rivals Brighton along the way, helping us in the playoff final, and for many, many seasons, single-handedly keeping us in the Premier League with crucial goals, great trickery, and just general great skill in order to not only rile opposition defenders, but also opposition fans, things we absolutely love to see. I, for one, am all for this. Bring Wilfried Zaha back to Palace. Let the King return home. The Last Dance, Part 2. I cannot wait to see it, if it happens, of course. But yes, there are multiple reasons why I actually want this to happen. I actually do really like the transfer. Look, I know he's 31. I know he has had injury struggles, which have mainly been caused probably by Palace rushing him back from injury so much. But look, it's Zaha at the end of the day. Why would we not want him at the club? Obviously, I'm going to dive into all the reasons why I think he would be a good asset. But look, let's think about his pastimes at Palace first. When he left, there was a bit of a discourse amongst Palace fans. Some thought he should go, some thought he should stay, and some were annoyed that he did actually go to Galatasaray, where he did win the league and play in Champions League. Personally, there is no love lost for me. When he left, it made complete sense. He was consistently keeping Palace up, consistently in relegation battles when he definitely was better than a relegation battling player. And Palace at the time was showing no signs of, any ambition. It really wasn't. There was no signs of ambition at all. We were trying to stay up in the division, aim for 40 points, and that was it. And that was kind of confirmed by the fact we did reappoint Roy Hodgson at the start of last summer. Definitely shouldn't have done that. Wilf probably got a bit of an idea of this before he decided to leave. Probably just, thought, I want to play at a high level. I don't want to be relegation battling every season. I don't want to be stagnating. Let me try a different move. So at the time, really did make complete sense. But now his time at Turkey hasn't been exactly great. Let's be honest. It's been very, very hit and miss for sure. In the Turkish league, he played 30 times, scoring 9 goals, picking up 3 assists. However, he only actually started 13 times, so it's a pretty decent tally from him. Also got that crucial goal in the Champions League against Manchester United at the time, things we love to see. But yeah, the Turkish manager of Galatasaray clearly doesn't like him or doesn't rate him. Recently, Galatasaray played in the Super Cup against Besiktas. They lost 5-0. Wilfried Zaha came on in the 75th minute when it was already 2 or 3-0 down, and the manager actually blamed him for the loss. So it looks like this is the perfect time to cut ties with Galatasaray. At the moment, it looks like Palace are interested in on a loan, not on a permanent, which is quite interesting. The loan fee may be a bit expensive, but realistically, it probably just pays off his wages for the season. So it kind of makes sense. It'll be interesting to see if we did go for a permanent long term. Let's say the deal does work. Anyways, let's kind of dive in a bit to how I think he would suit the Glasner system and how I think he actually would be a decent asset. I'll obviously discuss some of the negatives, which a lot of the Palace fans have already been talking about on Twitter. Some of the negatives do make sense, let's be honest, but at the end of the day, it's Zaha. Bring that king home. Obviously, we know Wilfried Zaha as that player who would tear down the wing, blister in pace, be able to get past fullbacks with ease. However, he is now 31 years old. Injury troubles, as I said, have ruined his last season or two. Sadly, his season finished at Palace in about March because he got that injury against Bournemouth. So realistically, that blister and pace has disappeared. So it actually makes sense for him not to be directly on the wing, but maybe like an inverted winger. Hello, Oliver Glasner loves playing 2 players alongside the striker. Yes, you can say they're 10s, but they could also be kind of inverted wingers, basically like Elise did. Zaha could definitely have an impact in that sort of position. He would be more technical. He has got that technical ability still and wouldn't have to rely on his pace as much, which is actually perfect for him at this age right now and perfect for the Glasner formation. Of course, he wouldn't be able to hold onto the ball as much. He would have to get into this possession-based football. But through the later years of Zaha, he definitely has been someone who does pass the ball at the right times instead of trying to get past every player on the pitch. So I do think he has matured in that way and would be able to work quite well. Of course, Wilf has also played as a striker. He got about 10 goals in the season he played striker under Roy Hodgson. Sometimes there was two strikers up top, so would that be a bit of a difference to this one? I'm not sure, because as we said, there's two players quite inverted and quite close to him, so it could really work perfectly. Obviously, he can play in that striker role, so he is a good option there as well. So that versatility he brings is very, very good for this Crystal Palace side, for sure. One issue with him being a striker, though, he cannot hold up the ball. So we would be relying on a lot of slow possession-based football in order to get him to play for us in that position. For me, there is no doubt in that he's definitely better than Ayew and Schlupp. They've had a good pre-season, but come on, let's be honest, this is Wilfried Zaha. He's a finisher now. He can definitely score a lot more than them this season. So that's a couple of reasons why I think he'd be perfect for this. I'm going to kind of talk now a little bit about what some people have said about the negative sides, and I'm going to maybe debate them, to be honest, because I don't agree with all of them. First up, I've seen a lot of people basically say that Wilfried Zaha is going to be wanting to be the star player. I just don't agree with that. I think he's going to understand his role. If he has to rotate, he will have to rotate. If he starts, he will be happy with starting. I think, as you've seen over the last year or so with Wilfried Zaha, he has been very family based. I think if he's happy, settled with his family, where he's loved, he will not have any complaints about not starting 100% of the games this season. This also helps with his injury struggles. He has been kicked so much over the years. Palace rushed him back from injury so many times. We are probably a little bit of the cause for him having injury struggles now, as well as referees just not giving him any support in the Premier League. Very annoying that was. But yeah, this might help him now. He doesn't feel like he has to give it all in all his games. You know, he'll play 60% of the minutes of the season, and that could really actually help him. It could boost him. It can mean he can be that explosive player in certain games and then have that rest that he sometimes needs. It's just acceptable at this age that he will need a rest or two. Not only that, but he would give the Premier League side an experienced league winner, just like Jeffrey Schlupp. Who would have thought? But I think that experience is quite good, especially when we've got a lot of exciting academy products in and around the squad. He could really help them out because he's been through it all. Not only that, but players we have brought back have done well. Sacco, when we brought him back, did well. Zaha, when we brought him back, did well. Klein has now done very well when we brought him back. A huge point for me in this is the fact that it would just be a loan. We're clearly doing a loan because maybe, just maybe, we trust our academy players coming through. Raksaki is going to go out on loan. Mateus Frank is also there. These players are clearly raw and not top Premier League quality yet. But does getting Zaha on loan show that Dougie Freeman, Steve Parish and Oliver Glasner are all very excited by our future stars and kind of don't want to block their pathway? Maybe getting Zaha in for this loan just kind of does that. It gets him in, gets the experience, gets that quality, gets that squad depth, but then it doesn't block these young players' pathways into the starting 11. It's something which I think we'd all love to see. We'd love to see Frank come through. We'd love to see Jez come through. It'd be really nice to see that. And maybe this is the perfect way to do that. We get this player in for a season and then players can thrive next season. And finally, Oliver Glasner already rejected Ryan Sessegnon. We were ready to sign him and Glasner said no. If we sign Zaha, if that's actually fully confirmed, then Glasner has approved it. He would have approved it. So if Glasner is happy, I'm happy. I want Wilfried Zaha back. Wilfried Zaha back to Crystal Palace? Yes, please. Don't forget to subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Don't forget to follow if you are listening on Spotify. It's available on both platforms. This has been Luke Talks Football. I have loved talking about Wilfried Zaha again. Let me know what else you'd like to see or hear from me. And let me know if you enjoyed this video. See you later.